Hey everybody, welcome to the 32 Insights podcast. I'm Mo. I'm here with your boy Tommy. Tommy, what a weekend of football, man. It's been a while since we had this, great slate of games.
I mean, the NFL showed out this weekend. Funny enough, the Sunday and Monday primetime games were our worst ones. The
Yeah,
NFL
that's
did not.
crazy.
The NFL did not do a good job picking those primetime games this weekend. But I think if
Yeah.
you saw the matchups and knew who the teams were, I think the results of those games weren't exactly surprising, and the lack of scoring in those games shouldn't have been surprising. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, we got blessed with a great weekend of playoff football and tons of good games.
Yeah.
Maybe
Let's
not. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. No, like let's start before the playoffs though. Let's start because it's been a while since
Yeah.
we had a podcast episode. I want to start with that, I want to start with the Seahawks first, and then get to the playoff games, and then kind of like talk about the divisional round after that. But hey, let's start with that Week 18 game, man. You were live at the stadium, Seahawks 49ers, and the 49ers got their teeth kicked out, man. That was the score did not show like what a ass whooping that kind of game was, but like you could just see the physicality difference in the both teams. How did it feel like being there and seeing that firsthand?
It was quiet. It was really quiet. I wasn't sure. I was in enemy territory, right? I was thinking it was going to be loud. I was going to be getting heckled. Didn't hear. It wasn't loud. I sure wasn't getting heckled.
Yeah.
Um, so it was definitely not the environment that I thought I was going into. But man, the
Yeah.
Seahawks took it to them. Now, I'm not gonna just applaud the offense. I think there's a lot there that we can unpack, but the defense, oh my goodness. I mean, domination from start to finish. Um, Truly, I mean, when the Seahawks got stopped in the fourth down on their first drive in the red zone, I was like, "Oh boy, here we go." Niners might go down, drive 3-and-out, boom, right away. Seahawks get the ball back, from there on, it just continued to snowball, and the Seahawks defense continued to get stop after stop after stop, and it was just complete domination. Niners fans, you could feel it in the stadium. It was one, frustration, and two, like, whoa, like that
Yeah.
we like I heard it a couple times, like just like they were kind of in shock at how well we were just completely shutting them down. Like they did not have much to cheer for. Truly,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought the Niners defense played a pretty good game, and I had questions about it. So, I was wrong there, but I mean the defense did way more than I could have ever imagined. I mean a
Yeah.
complete and utter shutdown.
Yeah. The term I heard a lot out there, especially in the national media, is suffocating. They said the Seahawks defense was suffocating, and there was just no space. Right, we used to see those Shanahan offenses, right, Tommy? Like you just see Debo Samuel just running free somewhere, or Kyle Juszczyk just running free somewhere. Like Brandon Ayuk was just like there was just so much space for this 49ers offense, but like there was no space. Even if they put a check down, like there was just a person right there, and you see then 10 other tacklers coming on, like to finish the job. It was suffocating.
No, it was really impressive because that Niners offense going into that game was rolling, rolling. They just
Yeah,
put up 42 on the Bears. Definitely were some concerns, and this. I mean, you night and day, a week, less than a
yeah,
week from when the Niners did that against the Bears versus us, completely night and day, and it was extremely impressive. And I don't want to say I was surprised because I know how good this defense is, but I was very surprised. I
yeah,
couldn't believe what they were doing.
yeah. Still, I think they don't get the respect other teams get, especially other defenses. The Texans they have a great defense, but you see if you turn on the TV today, you'll see, oh man, the Texans defense, one of the best, and but I think the Seattle Seahawks defense is right there with them.
I agree. I think Texans and Seahawks are 1A, 1B on defense, right? I don't
Yeah,
think there's really any significant difference between the two. They're both amazing, lockdown, fantastic defenses that nobody wants to face. But I do feel that the Texans are getting a little bit more national media love than Seattle in that sense, and they're kind of hyping up the Texans defense to be the best in the league when in reality there's a team in the Pacific Northwest that is the one seed who has a defense right on par with them.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, hey, the Seahawks get the number one seed, man. I love that shirt. Been there, won that. That they were in the locker room. Great stuff. JSN came out there and he said, like, I don't respond to all my fans. Like, I don't have the time to respond to everybody. So the rivalry, man, the rivalry was on, and it's they got the one seed, they got the rest, and then the wild card game, man. Where do I start, man? Crazy wild card games. The Panthers at the Rams. Let's start there, man, because I did not think that game was gonna be that close. Because I watched Young against the Seahawks, and I was like, hey, man, this doesn't look like an NFL quarterback. The guy is just too small. He can't push the ball down the field. And against the Rams, man, Bryce Young looked like Alabama Bryce Young. He was dicing him up, carving him up. They almost lost the game. It was going to be the biggest upset of the year possibly. So, what did you think about that game, Tommy?
Well, first, shout out to the Panthers. Fantastic season. And I know they went 8-9. Oh, pity playoff berth, so on and so forth. But you know what? They went out there and I think played the second best team in the league down to the wire. That's all
Yeah,
you can ask for. So shout out to the Panthers. Round of applause. Great season. Bryce Young played fantastic. They've got one in Tet McMillan for sure. Jalen Coker looked great. I mean, they're there. They've got a nice little running back duo. That secondary is elite. They do a great job of shutting down the pass. The Panthers are building, so good for them, and congrats on a great season. And now to talk about the game a little bit, I agree. I was a bit surprised at that result because I know the Panthers beat the Rams early in the season, and that was a bit of a shock to the NFL world. Um, but I thought going into this one, I was like, well, the Rams had their little slip up against the Panthers. Like, I think they're going to come out here and take care of business, maybe win by 10 plus, right? And it looked like it was going to be that way early on. And next thing you know, Panthers start climbing back. They're in the game. They take the lead with 2 minutes left. Puka Nakua with the pass breakup, which is a weird thing to say, on the interception, the potential interception in the end zone late in the
yeah,
game. That was a game-saving play.
yeah,
I don't think the Panthers end up losing that game if that
yeah.
ball gets picked off. I think the Panthers go on and win.
Yeah. Shout out to
So
like Seahawks legend Mike Jackson, man. The guy
yeah,
balled out, man. Even though like I didn't like, his hits on JSN, but the guy balled out that game.
no, he did. Um, so what we saw this weekend is these games are going to be competitive. It's what we've seen all year, right? We talked about how much parity there is in the league, how the NFL is wide open this year. We saw it this weekend. All these games were close, competitive, minus the Steelers. The Steelers should have been in the playoffs. It's a long story, whatever. But every game against teams that should have been and are in the playoffs were competitive and good
Yeah.
games. So and I think we're going to get that this upcoming weekend as well. I think we've got 4 great games ahead of us, and I know we'll dive into it here later on. But
Yeah.
yeah, a great game, and the Rams survive, but the Rams it's not going to get any easier. They're going to go to frigid
Yeah.
Chicago this weekend, and I think there's some snow in the forecast.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
gonna,
tough schedule, man.
yeah,
Like it is actually like a really I never like you never realize like how good it is to be the number one seed until you kind of watch these games and you see like,
to-
hey, like these teams traveling to the East Coast like multiple times.
totally, and that would have been us. That would have been
Yeah,
us playing in Carolina and then going to Chicago if we had
yeah,
lost against the Niners. So
yeah,
I'm happy about avoiding that because Chicago's a good team. I think the Rams are better, but man, that weather is going to be tough. And Chicago can run the ball well. They can run the ball with the best of them, and it's going to
yeah,
be. And Caleb Williams, he's got a little magic. He's got a little
yeah,
magic. And Ben Johnson's a great coach. That team in Chicago right now is just rallying. I mean, they're rallying. They've
yeah.
found a little juice, and they're riding that wave to see how long they can take it. But I'm really happy Seattle's not playing in Chicago this weekend. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, yeah. Crazy game, man. Hey, shout out to the Panthers, man. Great season. I think they're gonna keep on building on it. And yeah, next year, man, they're gonna keep on building that team. So, shout out to the Panthers. All right, let's get to the next game, man, of the evening. So the Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. I mean, this is the game that a lot of people were waiting for, especially if you live in Chicago and if you're a Bears fan, you wanted this game, right? But hey, man, I thought honestly, I was watching that game. I thought the Bears were done for, right? I was like, hey, there's no chance. and they're the cardiac bears, right? And Micah Parsons was just tweeting at halftime and saying, "Hey, like this team plays 4 quarters. Let's let's watch out." But and I just want to get to one play, man. That 4th and 8 play from
Yeah.
Caleb Williams. That was I just like my eyeballs was just like, what the fuck was that? I've never seen like a throw like that, man. That in between 3 Packers defenders, 4th and 8. That's for the game win. The season's on the line. Man, what a game, man. That was a crazy game. What was your thoughts on that game?
Well, do you know why I liked Caleb Williams so much coming out in the
Mm,
draft? Because of stuff like that. He was doing
yeah,
that at USC. Those crazy off script, off balance throws on the run, just making things happen. Very Mahomes esque, very Russell Wilson esque. Like those types of quarterbacks that you hate playing against because they can just make something out of nothing. That's what Caleb Williams was doing at USC, and that's why I liked him so much. And he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable. He's starting to know when to do it. That was the problem last year.
yeah,
Caleb Williams started to do it all the time. Now he's starting to figure out when he can and can't do that. And I'm
yeah,
not saying Caleb Williams is the perfect player. I don't think he played his best game on Saturday, but he got it done when it needed to happen. And that
yeah,
game was fantastic. Honestly, it started off feeling like, oh, this is Bears Packers. Here we go. Like,
yeah,
Packers are going to do it again. What's new? Cardiac Bears. Cardiac
yeah,
Bears. That team is never dead. That
yeah,
team is never dead.
yeah.
Um,
That's
and it's
crazy.
just phenomenal. And with the Packers, I mean, I'm a Seahawks fan, right? I'm not the biggest Packers guy on the planet,
Yeah,
but I do feel, I feel for the fans a little bit, just a little bit, not too
mhm,
much. But with the injuries and Micah and stuff, but they were crowning themselves Super Bowl champs after 2 weeks this season, so
yeah,
that's the way the cookie crumbles. But no, I think the Packers, they're not going anywhere. I think they do a great job of developing offensive linemen. I think they have a nice
yeah,
young core of receivers that will kind of get, I think, more settled in.
mm,
Um, I think their secondary is questionable. I think the biggest thing for the Packers is finding a replacement for Keyshawn Nixon.
yeah,
Not to just target out one player, but I mean that guy killed him. That guy killed him multiple times this season, and I think
yeah,
it's time for them. If they can replace him, I think that might be one of their biggest objectives, and I think the fan base would be really happy about that.
yeah,
Otherwise, the Bears just got it done. They got stops when they need to get stops.
yeah,
The one thing I want to say about the Bears, right, is they're number one in rushing efficiency in the NFL,
yeah,
but they abandon the run way too much. Like too many times now, they just completely abandon running the ball when they are doing a good job at that. Caleb
mhm,
Williams probably wouldn't have gone. I don't even want to. Let's just say the passing completion percentage wasn't great. He threw the ball a lot, completed a lot of passes, but missed a lot of passes.
yeah,
I think for the Bears to continue this run, specifically on Sunday when they're playing in this frigid, potentially snowy game, they're gonna have to stay committed to the run. They cannot abandon the run. I mean, the Bears are down by 12 points, 10 minutes left, and they abandoned the run. And I know they won. That's
yeah,
fine. But at some point in time, you're not going to be able to abandon the run like that. You can't. It was a 2 possession game from the lead. And
yeah,
they completely abandoned the run. Packers edge rushers are able to pin their ears back. If Micah Parsons is playing, I think it's a different game because that's
yeah,
an entirely different threat coming off the edge when you completely abandon the run.
yeah,
So, the Bears are a great running team, but I think they need to stay committed to it. They can be a great passing team as well as we've seen, but at some point in time, if they completely abandon what they do best, in my opinion, it's going to hurt them.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I did question some of the 4th down decisions, right, of Ben Johnson, like going for it on his own 30-yard line. I mean, I understand like when your defense is playing bad and you're like, hey, you know what, this has to be like some kind of shootout, and we got to play. But yeah, I think they're kind of changing their who they are a little bit, right? Because like in the season, they were known for the hey, like the best running team, and in this game, if they want to because I think this Rams defensive line, they can get got with the running game. Like if you have a really good running game, and you can run on them. Like they I think the Bears do have a chance. A lot of people are not giving them a chance, but I think they have a really good chance at home.
I agree. I mean, the Bears are rolling right now, right? And I think the Rams are spiraling a little bit. I don't think the Rams have played their best football over the past 4 or 5 weeks. I don't.
Yeah.
And I think the Bears are peaking right now. I think they're playing their best football right now. And I know they lost the Lions in week 18, whatever, who, like it is what it is. But,
Yeah.
um, I think the Bears are playing really good football right now. Maybe not their best, but they are playing good football, and they're finally, doing it against competitive teams. Because I think that was one of the biggest questions about the Bears was like, who have you beat? Like what? And I think that was a very valid question. I think for a
Yeah.
while there, but nevertheless, they're balling right now, and I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I think it's going to be high scoring. I know it's
Yeah.
supposed to be snowy, but for some reason, my gut's telling me this is going to be kind of a 28-31, 31-34 type game.
Yeah.
Kind of who has the ball last is going to win type of
Yeah.
game. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll get to predictions at the end,
Yep.
Tommy. But just to talk about, you know, the Bears in the Packers side, the Packers. Just kind of finish with this. I mean, there's been a lot of rumors out there, like, hey, they want to let Matt LaFleur go. I think that's a crazy wrong idea, right? That's like Matt LaFleur,
Yeah,
one of the best coaches. Matt, he's gonna get hired immediately, right? He's not like those guys that won't find a job if they get fired. This guy is gonna get a job immediately, and I think that would be a wrong decision to let him go.
that's an emotional response, in my opinion.
Yeah,
The Packers aren't doing that. They're not that stupid.
yeah,
No, you're not getting rid of Matt LaFleur. Like point blank, period. That should be the end of the discussion because the guy has done nothing but win. Yeah, he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but
yeah,
he's come in and won a lot of games with the Green Bay Packers. No, I think that no, not happening.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but hey, but I love the rivalry, man. Like the cheese,
Oh, it's
grinding the
so
cheese
back.
and all that.
It's so back. It's so good. Our rivalry's back. Our
Yeah,
rivalry's back. I mean,
yeah,
we've seen it with Seattle and San Fran, Bears, Packers. Like I love it. It's so good for the sport. I
yeah,
completely love it. And it's funny because like how Seattle was after the game. George Kittle was like, I would do the same thing. And Packers fans are saying, like, I would feel the same way if Matt LaFleur was doing the same thing that Ben Johnson's doing right now after the game. Like, it's good. It's really good for the sport. Like, I
yeah,
love it.
yeah,
Let's bring a little hatred back. We don't need to be all buddy buddy. I know we work out in Cabo in the summer together, but like, let's buddy
yeah,
buddy it. Let's end it. It's the playoffs. It's
yeah,
rivalry time.
yeah, yeah. So right now, one last question for you on this game, and I want to move forward. But are you confident to say, hey, Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in the NFC North?
Yeah, I felt that way for a bit now though, but yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, so you would
He's
take
so
him.
talented.
You would take him any day over Jared Goff, Jordan Love, and JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, and I would have done that week 1 too.
Yeah,
Like totally,
even
totally.
even without the playoff win.
Even without the playoff win, I'm telling you, I would have done that week 1 in September.
Why? Why? Why?
Caleb Williams is immensely more talented than the rest of the quarterbacks in the division. And I'm going to
Yeah,
piss off some Packers fans saying that, but like it's the truth. It is the
yeah,
truth.
yeah,
Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in that division. He's the most talented quarterback in that division. He's young. He's only getting better, and that is just the truth.
yeah. I,
Jordan Love's fine. I think he's fine. Like I stand what I said a few weeks ago. He's not in that upper echelon of quarterbacks. I don't
yeah,
think he's in the second echelon of quarterbacks, but he's in that third, and I think that's fine. Like you can definitely win a Super Bowl with Jordan Love as your quarterback.
yeah.
I just don't think he's better than Caleb Williams.
I agree, and like I would go as far to say, hey, um, if Matt Stafford retires, he's probably the best quarterback in the conference because like when it comes to talent wise, right? Because I don't see like another quarterback that has more upside and more talented than Caleb Williams in the NFC.
With upside, yeah, based off upside for sure, and obviously
Yeah,
that's based off Stafford retiring. Like the sky's the limit. I mean, the guy is only going to get better. Like I hope people realize
yeah,
that. This isn't peak Caleb Williams. We haven't seen peak Caleb Williams yet. So yeah, I feel confident in that.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's move on to the next day, man. Jaguars and the Bills, man. Crazy game. I thought the Jaguars had a really good chance. But at the end of the day, man, Josh Allen's gonna do Josh Allen stuff. And like beat he I think he got his, finger, hit, he got his knee twisted. But it was a great game, man. And shout out to Jaguars, man. I think they had a good season. And yeah, and I think, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to get better, man. I do have hope for Trevor Lawrence. A lot of people gave up on him, but I think he's going to get better.
Yeah, round of applause for the Jags. Great season. I mean, truly, they were a really good team all year long. Picked up some great wins along the way. Um, they've come a long way, that's for sure. And I thought they aced their head coaching hire. Let's talk about the media beef. What is going on? A hometown Jaguars reporter was giving Cohen like his
Yeah,
props for the season,
yeah.
and the
She was
whole
like
media
Duval.
world the whole media world explodes. Like, shut
Yeah,
up, shut
yeah,
up. Like, you know what? That's the type of reporter that players like talking to. They
yeah,
don't like talking to these media members that like, so if you did this, you guys would have won. Like, no, they don't want to hear that. Like, they lost. Like, do you think the mistakes you made today led to you losing the game? Probably. There's your answer. Like, no, like, the outrage from these other media members is so hilarious. I'm sorry,
yeah,
it's so funny. You guys are so corny. Like,
yeah,
it just like that is so good. I love that. That is a hometown Jaguars reporter giving their first year head coach props for what was a
yeah,
good season and a perennial losing organization.
yeah,
I
yeah,
I don't care if it was unprofessional. It was good for the sport. It was
yeah.
really good. I love that.
Yeah. And look, I think look, the next biggest head coaching hire, if he gets hired, right, is going to be Grant Udinsky, man.
Yeah.
Offensive coordinator for the Jaguars. He was up for the Seahawks head coaching job, right? They interviewed him. He did a lot of great work with Sam Darnold and Kevin O'Connell. Slowly climbing up the ranks, man. That guy, every quarterback he touches, man, he works with, and he turns them into like really good. So, I mean, I would say like, hey, like give this guy a chance, man. He's gonna be huge.
I agree. I agree. I actually read something today about his interview process, and it was so cool. I those young minds. I'm telling you, those young minds. That's where we need to turn.
Yeah, yeah. But hey, like what killed them, Jaguars was that last Josh Allen pass. I don't know if you saw it. Was it like 30 yards in the air? The one that sealed the deal basically. That last Josh Allen pass, man, that was a crazy,
I was
crazy throw. Yeah.
thinking about the run.
Yeah, the run as well. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, carried 5 people. That was a good game. It was a really competitive game. I think what came in at the end was experience. I
Yeah.
thought the Bills showed their experience in those moments. They have fallen short in those moments so many times.
Yeah.
So they got matched up against a team that doesn't have a ton of playoff experience,
Yeah.
and we're able to capitalize on that moment this time.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, good game. Congratulations to the Bills. They move on to the next round, and they go up against Denver. So it's going to be a really good game. But yeah, let's get to the next game, man. 49ers Eagles.
This is gonna
Look,
be fun.
this is
This is
gonna
gonna be fun.
this is gonna be fun, man. Eagles fans, really, really hate you, Tommy. And
Good.
they hate you because they don't like hearing the truth. But the whole year, man, we knew this team had some problems, right? And we talked about them on the pod. We said, "Hey, Eagles, man, you guys are not going to be sustainable. This kind of looks like the 2023 season, right? Where they played really good, and then they got mollywopped by the Buccaneers. And the 49ers with that defense that you saw, right? Who could have gotten run on, man. Look, and Saquon Barkley, he had 106 yards. Really bad game plan. The Eagles, like that's a devastating loss for them. They should have won that game. As a Seahawks fan, like I'm happy the 49ers won because like I think that's a great matchup for the Seahawks. But what was your thoughts on that game, bro?
So Philly, Philly, Philly. I'm from Boston, so there's nothing more that I like to see than sad Philadelphia sports fans. Good stuff, right? Jalen Hurts, top 5 quarterback? Question mark?
Yeah.
No, no, no. I was right last year, and I'm right again. Jalen Hurts is not a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts was carried by his team last year. Jalen Hurts has been continuously carried by his team in his run game.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is not a top 5 quarterback. The Eagles, that's embarrassing. Losing at home to the Niners, the Niners practice squad.
Yeah.
Ah, man. But let's dive in, right? That the Eagles' offense looked as bad as it always has.
Yeah.
That offense is a headache. I hated watching Eagles games this year because I hate watching the Eagles play. Their offense is terrible. If they can't run the ball, they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And if you're not targeting AJ Brown, he might get in a fight with his head coach. But the Eagles, yeah, I mean, it's not often you get a home playoff game against a 6 seed missing a lot of their star players.
Yeah.
It's not often you lose that game.
Yeah. That was a Madden offense.
Yeah. Shout out to the Niners, though. I mean, as much as I hate the Niners, I loathe the Niners for my entire life. Much respect. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big time win for them. It's gritty to go in on the road in a tough environment and get a
Yeah.
win with what their season has been. And I'm not saying like they're, they're not like this pity team. Like, they're 12-5. Like they're a good team.
Yeah.
And they go in and get a huge win on the road. Massive, especially when nobody really gave them a chance. Nobody gave
Yeah.
them a chance. Everyone wrote them off. And obviously I was happy about it because I think that is a more favorable matchup for Seattle than the Rams, but we'll dive into
Yeah.
that later. Um, just CMC doing a great thing. Kyle Shanahan got in his bag with the trick play. And
Juwan Jennings, man, he can throw the ball.
yeah, I mean, hey, he was a 4-star quarterback coming out of high school. So
That's crazy, man.
yeah, they just situational football was on point. Situational football was on point. They did a good job of making plays when they had to, diving into their play calling bag when they had to.
Yeah.
Got a big stop at the end, and that was that. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest game for either team. Truly, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But the Niners were able to get a stop when they had one, were able to score when they needed one. And that was the
Yeah.
difference because the Eagles weren't able to. Yeah, they got up early. Well, when they needed to have a score, they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So
I think that game, Tommy, that's the example of why coaching matters in this league, right? You have Kyle Shanahan, Robert Saleh with almost backups, right? And serviceable players, coming up with a great coaching plan. Look, I hate the Niners, but hey, Kyle Shanahan, man, if he wins Coach of the Year, I won't be angry, right? Because that is an enormously great job that they did in San Francisco, man. Shout out to the 49ers fans. I got huge respect for that team, especially, man. Brock Purdy, say what you want to say about him, right? He doesn't have the greatest arm. He doesn't have all like physical accolades and all that. And it's gonna come and bite him, right? We've seen in like rainy conditions, other conditions when he plays great defenses. He's gonna those kind of quarterback traits are important, right? And but hey, the guy is fearless. He threw two picks. He came back, and I would say, look, I would take Brock Purdy any day of the week over Jalen Hurts. And like, I'm not lying, right? I would take Brock Purdy over Jalen Hurts.
and I would take Devin Witherspoon over Cooper DeJean. Thanks, all pro.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like no, I would too though. I would take Brock Purdy any day of the week, and I've got a lot of, like I said, I do not like the Niners. I hate the Niners, as a matter of fact, but I respect the Niners. I do, and I think the NFC West kind of has that like mutual respect for each other. Like I don't like you, but I respect you. Like, and because we all know that we're all great teams. And of course, there's only going to be one winner this year, and it might not be any of those teams. But I do have a lot of respect for both NFC West opponents. I love San Francisco. I had to take my Balboa Cafe hat off, if you know, before this, because it is Niners Hate Week. But yeah, I'm. They've done a great job. They've been dealt a tough hand. And I see Fred Warner's practice window got opened. Hopefully, we can just give him a longer rest than 1 week.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. But hey, crazy game, man. I think where do the Philadelphia Eagles go from here? I think they have to fire their offensive coordinator, right? They have to, they have to kind of like get back to their identity. They have to have Saquon be the star of this team again.
Yeah, I mean, their best offensive play on Sunday was the pass to Big Dom on the sideline.
Yeah.
That was their best play.
Big Dom's still around, bro.
Yeah. No, for the Eagles, like in all seriousness, for the Eagles, they've got to get back to who they are. I think they lost their identity a bit this year. And
Yeah.
they've got to get back to being a good running team with an elite defense. That especially strong in the trenches. That's what they need to get back to. That's what people feared about the Eagles. That's why people didn't want to play the Eagles last year, because how strong they were in the trenches. They could shut you
Yeah.
down. They could run the ball at will. They lost that a bit this year, and they for the Eagles to get back to where they were, they need to get back to that. Maybe that needs to be addressed in free agency, the draft, shuffle around the roster a little bit, which I obviously think is coming, especially when you fall short like that of your expectations. We might see some coaching changes, like you alluded to. But there's got to be some sort of shakeup. When a team falls that short of their expectations, there's got
Yeah.
something went wrong, as we know, and there needs to be some sort of shakeup. They cannot turn around and come back with the same team next year. It might be even worse.
Yeah. 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 Crazy game, man. And yeah, moving on to the New England Chargers game, and that was a boring game. That
These
like
last two games
I
were
was I
snoozers.
was just doozing off and like just sleeping. It was just like bad. And it was just a horrible. If you like defense, maybe yeah, it's a good game. Really great defensive play. But like I was just underwhelmed by Justin Herbert, and I said this on the pod before, Tommy. I'm like, hey, like Justin Herbert, do Chargers fans feel like, hey, we've gotten the return on investment from Justin Herbert, right? Is he that dude? And like when it matters the most, he's just a different quarterback, man. He's a different quarterback than he is in the regular season. And I would be worried going forward. Like if I'm a Chargers fan, hey, like we fired multiple offensive coordinator, we brought in, Jim Harbaugh, we've done everything for this guy. But sometimes you just need, like if your quarterback is elite, right? If he's top five, he's got to win you that game.
Yeah. First things first, I said it a few weeks ago as well. I hate watching the Chargers on prime time. I hate watching Jim Harbaugh coach this team into just absolute snoozers every single time. The guy is the master of coaching to not lose. But like that's it. He doesn't coach to win. He just
Yeah.
coaches to not lose, and it's so gross.
Yeah.
Um, I and Chargers obviously ball controlled defense team. Know that. It's not as fun to
Mm.
watch. I was almost falling asleep Sunday. I had to pick up my girlfriend from the airport at like 10, so that's what kept me up.
Yeah.
Um, but no, and like what's unfortunate is I got cut. Like the clip on TikTok got cut off when we were talking about Justin Herbert last time, where I mentioned like that offensive line is horrible. That offensive line is horrible. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't. That is not helping him at all. So it sounded like I was just dogging on Justin Herbert, but I understand. But like at the same time, like okay, I watched the film of that Patriots Chargers game.
Mhm.
Justin
He
Herbert's
he had
film.
time. He had
Justin
time though.
Herbert's film was appalling. It was
Yeah.
appalling. It was
Yeah.
gross. If I'm a Chargers fan,
Yeah.
I'm furious.
Yeah.
He's got a great receiver room. And there were so many opportunities just to let it go, let it fly, and he didn't.
Yeah.
He loves running for 5 yards, bailing, running for 5 yards, throwing it away,
Yeah.
taking a sack. Let it go. You had so many opportunities to
Yeah.
let it go, and he didn't. It was so bad. It
Yeah.
was so, and it had nothing to do with his offensive line. Yeah, could that be based off him not trusting? This is a sports side degree coming in, but like, could it not be him trusting his offensive line initially and trying to bail out? Sure. You know
Yeah.
what? That could be a very real thing. But oh my goodness, you got to let it go. It's the playoffs. What are we doing? Like
Yeah.
you've got Quentin Johnson on a deep post, one on one. He's got he maybe has a step on the corner, takes it, runs it, takes a sack. Like pulls it down, takes a sack. Why? Like
Yeah.
just let it go. You had a clean pocket. You could have made that throw, at least given your guy a shot.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. He just takes the sack, or he bails the pocket and runs for 3 yards.
Yeah.
It was appalling. I thought Justin Herbert played like a coward on Sunday,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to be harsh. It was just true. It was so apparent on film. There were so many opportunities he had to just let it go and give his guy a chance. Shoot, he have a chance to let it go and not even give his guy a chance because he was so open. Like
Yeah.
it just like it wasn't there. He wasn't playing aggressive. He wasn't giving it a shot.
Yeah.
Again, playing to not lose.
Yeah.
That's how
And,
I see the Chargers.
but do you think that's coaching? Do you think maybe that's Jim Harbaugh in his ear saying, "Hey, like, just don't play to lose," or just
It
something
could
like that?
be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was appalled. I was appalled. I was like, wow, if I'm a Chargers fan, I'm furious. Like there were too many opportunities here that just got passed up for what? A sack, a 3-yard
Yeah.
run that turned into a punt.
Yeah.
And what was up with Amari and Hampton?
Yeah.
How are you going to make him active and run him one time?
Yeah. That's crazy. That's
Like
crazy.
the NFL is going to look into that. Like that's game planning. That's a bunch of different things. You're going to run him one time.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to play. I know he didn't practice all week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't make him active. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. That whole thing was
That game was just boring. The only memorable moment I have of that game is when that defensive tackle Williams headbutted Mike Vrabel. Did you see that? And
yes,
Mike
yeah.
Vrabel was kind of bleeding and all that.
Bladed on the lip. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was funny.
yeah, but hey, great defensive game, man. I think Drake. Look, Drake May played good. He had some turnovers. It was kind of like a little bit. He was a little bit. It was his first playoff game, right? He had I didn't think he played like he did like the rest of the season. Justin Herbert had a lot of opportunities. His team gave him some turnovers. They gave him time. The offensive line was not. Yeah, it was bad the whole year, but that game it wasn't bad. It was okay. It was good.
I have a question. What's going on with Trevion Henderson? Like, why
Yeah,
why why aren't they using their best running back? Why aren't they using their most explosive running back?
that's
Like,
crazy.
I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. That's my only question about the Patriots right now. Like, Drake May
Yeah,
played good, not great. Why aren't they using their best and most explosive running back? At least the Seahawks use Ken Walker. At
yeah,
least Ken Walker might not score touchdowns, but at least he's getting 10 plus carries a game.
yeah. That's that's true.
I don't think Trevion Henderson should be touching the ball 6 times a game. Are you kidding me? 6 times?
Yeah,
You gave Trevion Henderson the ball 6 times? They're going to
yeah,
need him this week too against the Texans. The Texans. One of their weaknesses is pass catching running backs. They're
yeah,
going to have to, and that is when Trevion Henderson needs to be involved. He's explosive. He
yeah,
can make a play happen.
yeah,
If they don't use him, that's malpractice, in my opinion.
yeah. Yep, yep.
I just don't understand that.
Yeah, crazy. Well, let's get to the next game. Last night, Monday Night Football, probably Rogers' last game. We heard news this morning that and Thomas and Mike Thomason and am I saying his name correct? The coach,
Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin. Sorry about that. Mike Tomlin. He retired today, or he said he's going to take a break from coaching. I think maybe that was like an internal thing that say, "Hey, we don't want to fire you if you could do this."
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
no, it was, and like because the Steelers aren't just not a good team.
Yeah,
The Steelers. Congrats, you made the playoffs. You beat the Ravens. Great. You guys are not a good football team. You guys were not a good football team. I think
yeah,
a lot of teams were lining up to play you guys just as they were lining up to play the Panthers. Like they're just not a good team. Their
yeah,
defense is terrible. Like absolute Swiss cheese. Their offense is terrible,
yeah,
and they just weren't a good team. They haven't won a playoff game since the Obama administration.
yeah,
Like they've just been absolute purgatory. They've won enough to not get a good draft pick,
yeah,
and but they haven't lost enough to fire or change anybody significantly. And I think that's the worst place you can be.
yeah,
And that's why the Steelers are who they were. Their annual tradition of making the playoffs is one of the last teams in and
yeah,
getting blown out in the first round. Maybe it'll
yeah,
change. Maybe it won't. I don't think it'll change next year,
yeah.
but I think a change had to happen. And much respect to Mike Tomlin. Really, I mean, what all time coach, truly.
All-time coach.
Kind of
All-time
how we
coach.
feel about Pete. That's kind of how we feel
Yeah,
about Pete, right?
yeah. And John Harbaugh as well, right?
Yeah.
He got let go from the Baltimore Ravens. Raven fans are like very furious they didn't get Mike McDonald. Sorry, but thank you guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank you.
appreciate you
Thank you.
guys. But hey, like, look, and I tweeted about this yesterday. And I was like, hey, man, shout out to Jody Allen, man. She fired Pete at the right time when there were really great candidates, right? There was Ben Johnson was on the market. I know he didn't accept any
Yeah.
job. Mike McDonald was on the market. There were some really good coaching candidates out there. And I'm like, hey, you know what, man, that's just a great timing. That's just great timing. And right now, man, Clint Kubiak is the hottest candidate, right? Like I don't see like that future coach that you can say, hey, he's gonna just kind of like as John Schneider said, like he's a what did he call Mike McDonald? He said he called him a disruptor, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that disruptor in this coaching class. I just see them like maybe like some guys, right? I don't see like a huge candidate.
Yeah. No, I mean, you see how many interviews that Clint Kubiak's getting? Tells you
Yeah,
all you need. I mean, I love Clint, but it tells you all you need to know about what this coaching carousel looks like.
yeah,
You know, like he should not be the most interviewed coach of the entire carousel, but he is.
yeah, yeah,
And you know what? Good for Clint. But that should be a glimpse at what opportunities are out there for head coaches.
yeah, yeah.
It's not looking great. I'm really interested to see who the Steelers hire. I'm sure there's a nice line of people wanting to go coach
Because it's a
Pittsburgh
good
Steelers.
job. Because like they
It
won't fire
is.
you easily, right? They'll take
It's
you
a
like they'll give
it's a
you
real good
chances.
job. They've got a
Yeah,
winning history. The fan base completely backs up that team. Like it's a good job. It's a really good job. Good ownership. I think their draft decisions have been pretty bad. I think their free agents decisions have been pretty bad, but I think there's enough there to, and I think that's what caused them to be who they are. Like they took a rotational D tackle instead of Jackson Dart this year.
yeah,
Like, ugh, like
yeah,
you give Patrick Queen the bag of bags.
yeah,
Ugh. Like it just they went and traded Minka Fitzpatrick and a pick for Jalen Ramsey in 2025. It
yeah,
just like I thought they made a lot of poor decisions.
yeah.
Also not a huge
DK
fan.
Metcalf was a bad trade as well.
Yeah, and I'm also not a huge fan of their infatuation with stocky edge rushers, Nick Herbig and Alex Highsmith. Like TJ Watt is in his own tier, but like those two, like, eh. But
Yeah,
their fans will hype him up like the premier pass rushers. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah. So
Um,
well, let's talk about TJ Watt though. Like, hey, if you've been there for so long, you haven't won a playoff game, and not, our new regime is coming in. Like, if you're TJ Watt, do you want to trade? Do you want to maybe like look somewhere else?
no, you got everything you need in Pittsburgh, and I think their scheme. I don't know what their scheme's going to look like next year, but I think it makes life pretty easy for him. I'm not going to lie. I think he's got one of the best jobs in the sport.
Yeah,
That's why it was so apparent that Myles Garrett was a better player all throughout because Myles
yeah.
Garrett was asked to
So
take
many.
on a lot more double teams. Like I think TJ Watt is in a good place. I do. I really do. And I don't if I'm TJ Watt, I wouldn't want to leave.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy shake up there, man. I think like another great job is the Baltimore Ravens. Like you got Lamar Jackson, right? You got
You got Lamar,
you got a Hall of
Zay.
Famer. You got a Hall of Famer there.
You've got a lot to work with there.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Like what can you walk in and have already? I think that's
yeah,
a big thing. I think it's a really big thing when you're looking for a new job as a coach, right? Is what can I walk in with and have at my disposal right away?
yeah,
Because what that's going to do is not set you back and maybe put you in a spot to lose your job in a couple of years because you took too long to build it up. What are
yeah,
our foundational pieces now? And the Ravens have a lot of those foundational pieces already.
yeah,
So that gives you a nice opportunity to come in and
yeah,
just make things happen right away.
yeah. Probably the worst job I would say is the Raiders, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to coach the Raiders. So my goodness, like what a
Yeah,
mess. You have the
yeah.
first pick. Yeah, hey, you got the first pick in a
You got
bad
a
draft class,
yeah, you got
and a
Mendoza
bad
probably.
and a bad draft class. Like what? Like
Yeah,
what? Like they can't do anything right. Like
yeah.
it's just oh my
It's
goodness.
just crazy because everybody was like, "Hey, the 2026 draft class is gonna be the best draft." Remember, like 2 years ago, everybody was
Yeah.
like, "Hey," and it's just crazy, man. Like how things change in college football really fast.
No, I mean, and the thing is that's why teams last year were trading their first round picks so much. Because they
Yeah,
know this draft class for this year's draft because they know it's nothing 2027 is going to reshape the league. Like
yeah,
that's going to be one of those draft classes where you look through the first round, you're like, whoa, hit, like
yeah,
so much talent. So everyone's kind of gearing up for that. This
yeah,
year, there are some talented players. Don't get me wrong. And we'll obviously get into that into the offseason, which hopefully doesn't start next week.
yeah,
But we'll get into that. But overall, I there's just not there's not a lot of generational type prospects in this draft class. Nothing too game changing, at least, in terms of prospect profiles. There's going to be
yeah,
surprises, of course, but that's from
yeah,
what I've seen. Is just nothing super standout ish.
yeah, yeah. So last night game, let's end it with this. Do you think it was more about how good the Texans were or how bad the Steelers were?
mixture of both. I thought it was a buzzsaw matchup with the Steelers. Like their offense is not good, and they're playing the best, one of the best, or the 1A defense in the
Yeah.
league. It just
Mhm.
seemed like the spread was 3, which I thought was really weird. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know about this. Like, and it just it looked exactly how I thought it would. You know, did the
Yeah.
Steelers? The Steelers didn't score a touchdown, did they? I don't think
No.
they did. Yeah, that doesn't
No.
surprise
Just
me.
two field goals, I think so.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Like it just like unfortunately, like no, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah.
It just was a horrible matchup
They
for
had a lot of
Pittsburgh.
drops though. Like,
Yeah,
DK had a crucial drop.
totally.
Yeah.
No, totally. There was definitely some plays there where I'm sure they wish they could add it back. But same with the Texans. Same with the Texans. I think
Yeah.
that could have been worse. That flea flicker, Jaden Higgins was wide open down the field.
Yeah.
If CJ
Yeah.
Stroud didn't, fumble 33 times, that game might have been worse.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah. But
just
that
it
defense is ridiculous. I still don't
no.
know how JSN got like 120 on that defense.
The
It's
Patriots gonna
crazy.
have their hands full. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much. I have the Texans in my NFC Championship, my little bracket I made, or the AFC Championship. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of both. I don't think the Steelers are very good, but I think the Texans are also very good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, Tom, let's get to some predictions for the divisional round. Hey, the games are set. On Saturday, we have and was the Seahawks 49ers. And what's the first game again?
Bills Broncos
Bills
kicking things off.
Broncos.
That's a banger. That's a banger to
Y-
kick things off
Yeah.
with. Oh man.
Yeah.
Bills Broncos.
And on Sunday we have the Texans and Patriots and the Bears and the Rams. So let's start with your predictions for the first game, Bills Broncos. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Oh boy, I like the Bills. I like the Bills, and I know that's probably a trendy pick right now, but I just think it's a good matchup. The Bills have a great secondary.
Yeah.
I think it's going to put the Broncos in a situation where they just have to successfully run the ball. And I'm
Yeah.
not sure I've seen that enough from Denver this year. Like they've been able to get it going a little bit. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if Denver's going to be able to run the ball to a win.
Yeah.
I don't see it. And I think Bo Nix will probably throw a pick.
Mm,
I think he's going to make it. I think he's going to make a critical mistake. I think the Broncos defense is fantastic. I think it's great. I think they're going to give the Bills some problems, but ultimately, I think I'm just going to favor Josh Allen.
yeah.
I think he's going to get it done. I mean, it's a 1 point spread. It's going to be a close game, so I'm just going to take the best player in the field. I'm going to go Josh Allen. I think it's going to be a good game though.
Yeah. You know what? I think the Bills, like I love Josh Allen, man. I think he's one of, the best, talents all around like in the league. Real dude. But look, I think the Broncos got this one. I'm rolling with the Broncos, man. I'm rolling with the Broncos because I've seen, what the Eagles, did to the Bills, right? And
Yeah, I
like they're a
can't hate on
flawed
that pick.
team sometimes, right?
Yeah, I can't hate
Like
on that
they're
pick. That's a
yeah,
total pick 'em, total coin flip. So
yeah, it's
I totally get it.
it's a coin flip, and I think look, it's gonna depend. The crowd's gonna make a difference as well. They're at home, they're rested. Josh Allen's banged up,
Elevation.
elevation, altitude.
Yep.
And I think the Broncos. I think it's gonna be like another boring game. I don't think it's like gonna be a shootout. But I think it's gonna be like a Bo Nix field goal at the end. So
Okay. Yeah.
I'm rolling with the Broncos for this one. So yeah, right. So okay, Broncos country, let's ride. All right, let's go to let's go to the second one. The Seahawks and the 49ers, man. Look, the third matchup, right? And man, I'm gonna be at this game, man. I wish Tommy you were here, but
I
hopefully
know.
next
Yep.
one, man. We're gonna plan for the next one. But man, like for me, I think it should be an easy one for the Seahawks, right? It's really hard when divisional games are always hard. You know your opponent really well. I think they're going to make a mistake. I think the 49ers are going to make a mistake. And the mistake is Salah is going to look at it and say, you know what? Last time, like Ken Walker and Shizak Charbonnet had like 20 carries each, right? So I'm not going to let this happen this time, right? I'm gonna, load up the box and, one single safety. I'm going to like maybe shift that safety a little towards JSN and I'm going to make Sam Darnold trying to beat me. And I think that's a mistake because Sam Darnold is going to have more protection. Charles Carson's going to come back. Arroyo is back, right? JSN's that dude. I think with this bye week, the connection with Rashid Shaheed is going to go up, right? You're going to have like a legitimate passing option because you've been seeing like it was getting better and better and better. So I think Brock Purdy's going to give you a couple, maybe one, two, and I think the Seahawks it's going to be like we're going to have less rushing yards, but more high passing yards. I think it's going to be like a shootout, and like, I don't think like not a shootout, but I don't think the 49ers is going to score more than 17 points, right? Like I would doubt it. So I'm going the Seahawks 27-17 on this one.
Okay. I'll go. I'm going to say Seattle. I am. It's always the end game here is going to be Seattle, but I think I'm going to kind of counter what you said. I think they're going to come out with the same defensive game plan and ask us to do it again because
Mm,
you can make the argument their defense played pretty well when we last time we played, right? They
yeah,
held us to 13 points. Nothing to write home about.
yeah.
And I think it's going to be more of a focus on how can we get this offense going.
Mm,
Because I think holding us to 13 points. If you would have told Kyle Shanahan that before that game, he would have been like, "Oh, I think we're going to win."
yeah,
And I completely understand that. If you can hold us to 13 points, you probably have a chance to beat us.
yeah,
Um, so I don't think they're going to change up much, at least on the defensive side. But offensively, they're getting Trent Williams back, so I think they're going to try to run the ball a little bit more. Which I don't know if that's going to work. I mean, this defense is phenomenal. I
yeah.
don't know if it's going to be
It's
an easy
crazy.
win, though. I'm worried, right? I think it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be a low scoring game, as for what we've
Yeah,
seen the first two. I think we're going to be sweating a little bit. I hate to say it, Mo. I
yeah,
think we're going to be sweating a little bit. I for some reason I feel like this is going to be a closer game than we expect. I'm going to take the Seahawks 17-14
yeah,
final. Um, I think the Seahawks get a big pick late to
yeah,
close it out. Um, but yeah, I think I'm a little worried. It's hard to play a team back to back. Like
yeah. It's hard.
as much as like want it like to be able to replicate. I think the Niners are going to come ready. They've got a little bit of momentum, a little confidence
Yeah.
back. Um, yeah, I think we're gonna be sweating a little bit, but I'll take Seahawks 17-14.
Yeah, and like the reason I'm concerned is not more of a matchup perspective, but of like it's the playoffs, right?
Yep,
Can you handle the pressure of being the number one seed, playing at home, being the favorites,
and
right?
we don't
The
know yet.
expectations.
Yeah,
It's a lot to ask for a head coach in his first playoff game, a quarterback in his first, playoff game, like who's looking for his first playoff win, right? Um, in a defense that has to like prove to the world that they're the best, right? So it's going to be more of the psychology for me than actually the like the talent difference.
I think ultimately what comes down for me is the Niners still can't get a pass rush.
Yeah,
They still can't get a pass rush. If they want to blitz, I think we'll feast all over that. So I think Sam Darnold's going to have enough time, probably not be as under pressure to make big mistakes. And I think that's probably the biggest key because I know the Seahawks are going to be able to get pressure. I just don't think the Niners are going to be able to get enough pressure. I think that's going to be my edge in the end.
yeah,
But yeah, like you said, like we don't know what this team looks like in a playoff setting yet. We've never seen it.
yeah,
So we're about
yeah,
to find out. And you know
yeah,
what? I hope I am pleasantly surprised. I'd love to see us go out there and just run the Niners off the field,
yeah,
but I obviously haven't seen it yet. I've got some concerns about maybe some repetition from the last matchup,
yeah,
which could lead to a low scoring type of slugfest affair, which was what we've seen from both Niner games this year. And I think we'll be a little sweating just a little bit. I think we'll be
yeah,
sweating just a
yeah,
little bit. So
yeah.
looking forward to it though. Looking forward to it though. There's a lot of questions, a lot of questions to be answered for sure. A lot of
Yeah.
statements that could be made, and just I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm optimistic because you could have said like, "Hey, the pressure was on for the number one seed as well," right? There was
Totally.
like yeah, and like there was a lot of pressure, especially on Sam Darnold, especially on this defense. There was a lot of pressure, so they were favorites. Had like the better roster. So look, I think they can do it again, and
Also,
yeah, let's see.
Also, that George Kittle injury, brutal. I feel
Yeah,
for him.
brutal.
I feel for him. I feel for
Yeah,
Niners fans. I like George Kittle. I think he's hilarious. I think he's a good dude. That is a killer. I also
yeah.
think that's going to be a big, big factor. on Saturday as well.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so moving on to the next slate of games, the Texans and the Patriots. Who you got, Tommy?
I've got the Texans. I've got the
Okay.
Texans. Defense travels. I think
Yeah,
that's a big thing. I think that the Patriots are going to have a hard time scoring, just as I think the Texans will as well. Though I think we might be in a spot for some slugfest this weekend.
yeah,
Um, I think it's going to be an ugly, rough game up in New England, and I think the Texans are going to come out. I just think that the Patriots are going to have a hard time scoring. I think Drake May's great. I really do. I'm worried about the Patriots receivers. I'm
yeah,
telling you, for the Patriots to win, it's going to have to be a big game from Travion Henderson. And Hunter Henry. It's
yeah,
someone in there is going to have a sneaky big game because I think those Houston corners are going to shut down the outside. Drake May is going to have to run a little bit. That pressure is the real deal. I just think it's going to be too much. I think
yeah,
the Texans are going to get it done. I think the Texans are going to get it done. The thing is, the Texans did not play well last night. They really didn't, at least
yeah,
offensively. And the beauty of it is they won. So they get to learn
yeah,
from that. They get to fix those things that they didn't do well and take it in the next week. And their defense is going to continue to be who they are.
yeah.
Defense travels, and I think the Texans are going to get it done.
Shout out to D'Amico Ryans, man. I think they showed a clip of him sacking Aaron Rodgers yesterday. That was like, I was like, hey man, if you're a player in that room and he turns on that clip, you'll be like, hey man, I respect coach. But yeah, man, I got the Texans for this one. I think it's gonna be a little bit too much for that young team, right? You know, I think playing at home, Drake May against that defense, I think he's gonna make a mistake or two. And I think it's they're gonna shut down the run game, right? Because like it's hard to run on that defense, man.
It
Like
is
you're not
hard to
running
do
on
any.
that defense.
It's hard to do anything on that defense.
Anything, man, anything. So you gotta be like you gotta play like the long possession game. Don't turn it over. Kind of like march down the field, take the check downs. You got to play that Tom Brady-esque game, like when you have nobody around you. You know what I'm
Totally.
saying? So I think the Texans get it done, man. I think they're gonna get it done, and yeah, they're gonna move on to the next round.
Patriots got to be ready to bring it because the Texans are
Yeah,
going to be physical. That's their biggest thing on defense. They are so physical.
yeah,
The Patriots got to be ready to bring it if they're going to try to compete here.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think they will.
Because
I think they will. Mike Vrabel's going to get them going. I mean, if we're talking about Mike Vrabel, they're going to be physical. They're going to be
yeah,
ready to go. And I just ultimately think they're not going to be able to move the ball enough on
yeah.
Texans.
Because like what their engine is the run game, right? And
Yep.
and Drake May kind of like flashing at times and his deep ball. So I think that's gonna be tested. That's gonna be hugely tested. And if Drake May can win this, man, I'm gonna tip my hat to him. I'm gonna be like,
But
you know
but
what?
if the Texans do lose, we're going to come back next week and we're going to talk about CJ. We're going to be questioning CJ Stroud. I promise.
Yeah,
If the Texans
yeah,
lose that game, we're going to be talking about why did CJ Stroud play so bad.
yeah,
That is going to be it. I can tell you now.
yeah.
That is
If
my
if
concern.
if CJ Stroud doesn't turn the ball over, and if he just like plays for field goals, he's gonna win that game.
Yeah, totally,
Yeah.
totally.
I don't think they need a touchdown.
Yeah, they just can't turn the ball over. They
Yeah.
can't. They can't turn the ball
Yeah.
over. Don't give
Yeah.
the Patriots free possessions, good field position, so on and so forth. Make them go every time. Like
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be an ugly, ugly game.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's get to the last game before we end it, Tommy. So the Rams at the Bears, man, the cardiac Bears. You know what? I've been rolling with the Bears the whole season. I'm going with the Bears on this game because I feel like the snow, the crowd, they're playing with house money. Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson are playing with house money. They have no expectations. Nobody thought they would get to this point. He's gonna go for it on fourth downs. He's gonna do crazy stuff. I think, because of the environment, Kyron Williams has a fumbling issue. He's going to fumble it. There's going to be a problem. And that defense is going to be run on. So, and if not, I trust this cardiac Bears to like come back in the fourth quarter and do some voodoo shit and win this game. So, so I'm
All
going
right.
with the Bears, bro. How about you?
So yeah, we got the cardiac Bears, man. We got Caleb Williams. There's some magic in Chicago right now. Ben Johnson's got a rolling. The city's alive. Their offense has been good. Their defense forces turnovers. So I'm going to pick the Rams.
Okay.
I'm going to pick the Rams. I don't think the Rams are going to turn the ball over. I think the Rams are going to move the ball with ease.
Okay.
I think the
Yeah,
Rams
the
are going to
defense on the
give
defense.
I think the Rams are going to give the Bears problems that they have not seen this year. I don't think the Bears are ready for this. I
Mm,
think the Rams are in that S tier of teams in this league, and I don't think the Bears are. I don't think the
yeah.
Bears have played an S tier team this year, and
Yeah.
I don't think they're ready. I don't. I
Okay.
don't. I don't think they're ready for the efficiency that the Rams move the ball with, and the
Yeah.
intensity of that defensive line, and the way they come at you with all their stunts and their secondaries schemed up to perfection. All the different looks and different types of disguises, and I'm gonna take the Rams. I
Yeah.
gotta, unfortunately,
Yeah.
because I think the Bears are fun, but I don't think the Bears are ready for this. I don't.
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've seen it. We don't want to see the Rams again, and there's reasons for that. We're great. The Seahawks are great, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think collectively we want to see the Rams again. There's a reason for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
That's
the
true.
Rams are good. I
Look,
I, I
look,
just
I can't
I just messed
disagree with
up.
you. I can't disagree with you. I think the Rams are the better team, right? And like they have the better team. But look, I think there's a chance that the Bears keep Stafford on the sideline, right? I think this defensive line,
I
like
hope so.
especially their corners can't tackle, man. Like they're gonna
I
like
hope so.
they're gonna do some, like they're gonna run it, like, and they can't seal the edges. I think the Bears gonna get this one. So, but yeah, let's see.
Don't abandon the run. Don't
Yeah,
abandon the run.
yeah,
Like Caleb Williams was great. We want to see Swift and Monungai carrying the ball because you
yeah,
guys are good at that. And it will keep the Rams off the field. That's why you lost to the 49ers because you kept giving the ball back to them.
yeah, yeah,
Like it's okay to run the ball. You can score on the ground too. It's totally okay.
yeah.
Like but yeah, I got to go with the Rams unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. So last question for you, Tommy, before we sign off. You gotta choose the lock of the game, and one game that you think 100% that team is gonna win, and so who you got this week?
Oh, that's a good question. Um Lock of the week. This team is 100% going to win. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'm
Okay.
gonna go the Rams. I feel my strongest about the Rams. I do.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, my lock of the week is the Denver Broncos.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
My roommate would love
Yeah.
that. My roommate would love
Yeah.
to hear that. He would love to
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah. Let
There's
him know, man. Let
we
him
were
know.
laughing. This house has a chance to be a morgue Saturday night, Sunday
Yeah.
morning. Like
Hey,
with the
that Super Bowl party in your house is gonna be lit, man. If the
Oh
Broncos and
man.
Seahawks make
Oh man.
it. All right, all right. Well, hey guys, thanks, man. We'll see you guys next week. And we'll kind of cover all the games. Until then, peace out.